तुझे दिल की ही तमन्ना है, प्यार का इरादा है, और हम वादा है जानम. I completely misjudged a catch off Dhoni when Dhoni's trying to hit it out of the ground.
So would you rather bowl to Chris Gayle blindfolded or face a Mitchell Johnson with a table tennis bat?
It's a good question. My celebration was a reflection of just, how great probably Tendulkar was as a batsman, as a cricketer, as a person. Yuvaraj Singh, again, he would come after me. He would not hold back. He's the type of cricketer that could destroy your career. Literally, like, you can't play another test match again. Put the fear in you as well. So sometimes he'll look towards deep mid-wicket like, I'm going to hit you for a big six. Sometimes in life is just one ball at a time. Just take one day at a time.
As an Indian, was it easy or tough to assimilate into the England cricket team?
Well, I think for me, when I was youngster, which is like, screw the light bulb. So screw the light bulb and then point the aeroplane and then pat the dog like that. Pat the dog.
Hello and welcome to the Legends and Lads Cricket Podcast. I am Chirunandan Srinath, your host for this week. Joining me is my co-host Krishna Maitreya. We couldn't have Vijay Lokapalli sir and Rakesh Rao sir on this show. But today on the show is a man who has made headlines not just for his left arm spin, but for spinning the entire stadium into a frenzy. He's cleaned up some of the best batters in the world, including Sachin Tendulkar. And with a turban on his head, Indian origin, an English cricketer who's arguably one of the best finger spinners England cricket has ever seen, and is the biggest guest Legends and Lads Cricket Podcast has ever hosted. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, put your hands together to welcome the one and the only Madhusudan Singh Panesar aka Monty Panesar. Welcome to the Legends and Lads. How are you, sir? How does it feel to be here?
Yeah, thank you for a lovely introduction. Yeah, and thank you for having me on the podcast. Yeah, I'm really delighted to be on your podcast.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your career. Your career spanned about over 50 test matches, and in total you have bowled over 14,000 balls and around 191 international wickets. And you have had a pretty successful career. So if I want to ask you, what is your favorite memory or any unforgettable memory that you have had in this wonderful span of 50 test matches and 20 odd ODIs?
Yeah, look, one of my most memorable moments was obviously taking my first test wicket, the great man Sachin Tendulkar. That was a dream come true, like a lot of cricketers dream about that, and I managed to do it, which, I felt very fortunate, very lucky, to bowl to one of the best batsmen, arguably one of the best batsmen ever, to play the game. And so that was a very special moment, and I suppose my celebrations were evident how special that was. And then, unforgettable moments probably was in Mumbai at the third test match where I completely misjudged a catch off Dhoni when Dhoni's trying to hit it out of the ground, off Sean Udall, and then 2 balls later I caught it. It was quite embarrassing for me, where the ball landed 10 meters away from me, and then 2 balls later I caught it. So it's a reflection of how cricket is, really. 1 minute you're a hero, next minute you're zero. So cricket's like that. 1 minute you get 100, next minute you get zero. And so, yeah, that tour was special for me. I had a memorable moment and an unforgettable moment.
So, a scorecard might give a good summary of the match, but, watching it live, we can imbibe that atmosphere of the stadium into our homes also. So, watching it live, it comes with many other aspects. Like, as you have already mentioned, the celebration, as a bowler, you try so hard to get a wicket and finally you get it. And the celebration that comes with it. And you are known for your passionate, kind of celebration. So, what drove that intensity, for that kind of celebration?
I suppose it's just the moment, really. When you're like thinking in your head mind, oh, I don't think I'll ever get an opportunity to, uh, you know, play against the likes of Sachin Tendulkar. But then when you do get that opportunity, and then you get that wicket, it's obviously a very special moment. And I suppose my celebration was a reflection of just, how great probably Tendulkar was as a batsman, as a cricketer, as a person. And to get that wicket was just a lot of excitement, a lot of happiness, a joyous moment. I just couldn't, stop celebrating because it was just an unbelievable moment for me.
Yeah, talking about the same thing, Sachin Tendulkar dismissal. One of my listener has asked me to ask you specifically for that, but then you've already answered it. Maybe you can go in a little depth for it. I've seen many of your interviews, and there's a most asked question, of course, and I've seen you telling that people hated you for that. But that night, did you get a good sleep? Thinking about the hearts you broke that day, and did you frame the ball? Have you had a chance to keep the ball with you?
Yeah, I've got the ball. It was very, I think the physio came up to me in the dressing room, do you want Tendulkar to sign the ball? And I said, yeah, I love him to sign it. And then he wrote down once in a blue moon, mate, never again. And that was really funny. I really enjoyed that. So, yeah, it was special, very special, like for him to even sign the ball. It just shows what a great human being he is, how humble he is, how he knew it was a special moment for me, and he kind of made it special by signing the ball. So it was just a lovely moment. And then I remember him signing the ball when I got him out at Lords, and then he goes, "Once in a blue moon comes more often than I thought," and then he signed that ball, and it was just, I think that's a special relationship. Yeah, you have this competition on the field, but he also understands the gravitas of who he is as a person and how special he makes other people feel. So, him to sign it, that just, sort of make that just kind of like makes it even more special. He's just a lovely human being, unbelievable cricketer, like we know what he is, but he knows what kind of how he makes other people feel, and he tries to make be empathetic towards your feelings.
Yeah, just not to forget the listener that has asked this question, so let's give him a credit as well. So Ved has asked this question, so let it be on air as well. So Maitri, go ahead with the next question.
Yeah, so in international cricket, we see the crores of people watching the match. So either in the stadium, there are lakhs of people, and then across the world, viewers, watch us. So that feeling, it is a good sign. People are watching you, but at times it becomes a burden also. So how do you handle those pressures? Like it can become a strength as well as a burden, and especially in high stake matches. So talk to
Yeah,
that.
you're right. You're right. Like, when you're playing in big games, attention is all on you because you can take the big wickets. They expect you to take that, and then if you don't do it, then obviously pressure is all on you. People question your ability. And I remember the Mumbai Test match. After the Mumbai attacks, the Test match in Chennai, where India needed 380. I thought we were going to win that quite comfortably. But obviously, we lost, and the massive pressure on me not delivering, not able to get the wickets, that was huge, huge for me. So that's when I think the question mark was: Is Monty a world class spinner? If he is, he'll win us the game today. And I couldn't able to do it. And Tendulkar got 100. I think Yuvraj got 100. Both of them did really well. So yeah, it was again, a special moment for India at the time when they needed that victory because of the terrible incident that happened in Mumbai. But yeah, it was an opportunity for me to showcase my talent, and I couldn't bowl India out on that day.
Yeah, sir. If I open your social media account, the thing that I see in your bio is 167 test wickets and 1 6, and you take so much pride in that 1 6. I want to read out a line from Wikipedia. So it says Panesar is not a confident batsman. So any reply to the person who has written it? You want to talk about that 1 6 and also maybe talk about that 40 minutes you have stood with Anderson in the Ashes test?
Yeah, that was a special moment. Like obviously I'm not really known for my batting, but it was my finest hour in an England shirt with James Anderson, and actually enjoying my time at Cardiff, knowing that we'll probably get out at some stage. But then uh, what happened? What with us was that we were able to bat each ball one ball at a time, and it's kind of a reflection of like how cricket, or cricket teaches us so many life lessons as well. Like sometimes in life We want to, like, get there very quickly to our destination. And sometimes in life is just one ball at a time. Just take one day at a time. You'll get there, and you get there quicker when you take that route. And that's what happened with us. We just took one ball at a time, and gradually we got there. And it was a test match that was drawn, and we stuck to my little game plan. If it was at the stumps, I'll protect the stumps. If it was short, I'll just drop my hands, and I kind of just stuck to that. And the same thing with, the spinners. If the ball spun outside off stump, I'll just leave it, let it go past out the outside edge. But generally speaking, we can get ahead of ourselves. We could have thought, oh, got 20 minutes left. Are we going to draw the test match? But we just stuck to our process. And we very much just, that was it, and when you're in the zone in cricket, you tend to just focus on your processes more than trying to get too far ahead of yourself. So, yeah, very lucky that we were able to do that. But it was a great moment for English cricket because it was a catalyst to think we can achieve anything we want. And I think the consequence of that was we had a goal in 24 months to become the number one team. We did it in 18, and yeah, it was a great feeling.
Yes, sir. So I want to ask you, you share the dressing room with so many sporting legends. But if you were to pick one closest friend in England cricket team, who would it be? And, some fond memories with them, whoever it is.
Yeah, look, I've got some great friends. I played a lot with under 19 cricket. So Chris Tremlett, I played a lot with, during under 19s England, on England A tour as well. And, that was amazing. He's obviously, a good friend. Ian Bell, I played a lot with. We became good friends there. Alistair Cook, another, made debut together. Probably played all my test matches with him. Became another good friend. Andrew Flintoff is another lovely friend of mine. More so, just to give me the sheer belief and encouragement that I can actually become, a good cricketer. Michael Vaughan was another great guy. More strategic thinking, backed my ability, backed the way I played cricket. He embraced my, energy, loved it. So, there's several guys. Matthew Hoggard. When you have bowlers unions, bowlers stick together, help each other out. Another very good friend of mine, Ryan Sidebottom. Again, we won test matches together. Graham Swan, spin twins. So different friends have different, purposes. But generally speaking, it's the ones probably when you play early in your career, when you played under 19s together, kind of like stick together. So yeah, we were all like, very much good friends.
Yeah, it looks more like an acknowledgement page of your autobiography. So many friends you have. Uh, well, I want to ask you if there is any on-field rivalry that the world doesn't know much about.
Yeah, there's always, rivalry against, like the South Africans were tough. They were a tough team to bowl, against Australia again, the left-handers, the big left-handers like Gilchrist, Hayden, Justin Langer, find them difficult, but Mike Hussey try and, come off, them. Yuvraj Singh, again, he would come after me. He would not hold back. He's the type of cricketer that could destroy your career. Literally, like you can't play another Test match again or a one dayer. And I remember when Yuvraj edged the ball outside edge, he got at Headingley in a one dayer, and he didn't walk. And I said, "Why aren't you walking?" He goes, "I can't get out to you." He goes, I'm not gonna walk. I don't want to get out to you." And so he was very much, very rivalry, very competitive. If he got the hold of you, he would hit you out of the ground, and sometimes put the fear in you as well. So sometimes he'll look towards deep mid wicket like I'm going to hit you for a big six, and I would bowl a bit quicker. But that's what he wanted. He doesn't want me to flight it and get the dip on the ball. So as a spinner, when he bowled it quicker, it's easier for the batsman. So yeah, he was a great competitor, great cricketer. Oh, a lot of fear. He put a lot of fear in you, and yeah, he was unbelievable.
Your grandparents are from Punjab, so I mean, Yuvraj Singh is a Punjabi, so no common understanding. It is a rivalry.
Yeah, I think that naturally happens, in it. I'm obviously from England and he's from India, but both Punjab, so that he obviously, you know, make sure that Monty doesn't get the better of me. And yeah, yeah, I remember him hitting me for a big six in Edgbaston as well. It was massive. I float one ball up and basically hit me out of the ground, and I was just like, wow, this is like, you know. once he gets hold of you, he's so dismissive. And even in Chennai, when he got that 80 odd or 100, I think it was, in that test match, he was just brutal. He just no half measures. Once he's on top of you, he just, that's it. He was trying to hit you for 6-4 every ball, put you under pressure. Yeah, he's a great competitor. Unbelievable cricketer. Honestly, like him, Sehwag, the type of cricketers that you think in your head like, is this going to be my last game for England? I don't think I will ever play again. So yeah, they are unbelievable. You don't get a lot of cricketers who are like that, but yeah, they definitely are up there in terms of their demeanor, their stature, just how they can just really sort of make you doubt your ability. Brilliant cricketers.
Yes, sir. So then, coming to cricket as a game, it throws surprises at you. It can be good, it can be bad. But, there are such moments like, I can't believe this happened. So, any such moment in your career, could you share?
Yeah, like I think Mumbai Test match when I bowled probably the best I have done on a turning pitch, but just kept on taking wickets, kept on every decision I was making. It was just wonderful. It was like getting all the Indian players out, but it wasn't getting them out. It was more like how I wanted to get the wickets. And it's always, I think, a great moment for every spinner to go to India and bowl well. And I was very fortunate that I was able to do that. And that was probably one of my best test matches, in Mumbai when I think I got 11 wickets in the match and we won. That was a strong Indian team. But again, I think what helped also, I remember the SG ball, they were a lot harder than the previous tours, and the seam was a lot harder. So it was a typical like Duke's ball, and when I bowled, always felt I was in the game. I always felt I was going to get wickets. And so yeah, whoever changed the SG ball, thank you very much. It helped me.
Yeah, this is a question from one of our listener, Satyajit Sahu. So he asks, how do you read batsman's weakness?
Yeah, so what you do is you look at their form, how many runs they've scored, previous games. You would also look at when we're training, how their demeanor is, when they talk to you, how you pick up little clues from there. And then as they approach the crease, so you see, are they walking tentatively? Are they walking with confidence? Are they overconfident because they're not in good form? Then how their stance is, what the situation of the game is, how they hold the bat, wherever they're looking, are they fidgety? I'll speak to the keeper. We'll do the analysis, beforehand, where they're how well they play against left arm spin. Are they better off the back foot, the front foot? So we gather all of this information, and then when you're competing, you're thinking, right, I know where the get out shot is for this batsman because when they're under pressure. So I'm not going to feed that. I'll bowl it slightly fuller because they like it a little bit shorter. I'll bowl it quicker because they play better against the slower stuff. So all of this analysis is taken into account, and then we make the decision depending on how the game situation is, and then try and get the batsman out.
Yes, sir. So this next question is also from one of our viewers, Sri Sai. So he asks, as an Indian, was it easy or tough to assimilate into the England cricket team?
Well, I think for me, when I was young, I was quite lucky. I had John Embry, as a head coach at Northants. Nick Cook was a second team coach. He played at Northants. John Charles was at Essex. So a lot of the coaches were like left arm spinners, off spinners. And if when you're a head coach, you're always going to be like, oh, let's favour a young spinner. Here's a 3 to 5 year project I can work with. And, naturally they're going to favour you because, you want to work with a spinner, don't you? And I think that helped me. But then also what helped was my also hard work, my hunger, my desire. I always wanted to improve myself, always worked really hard. I loved playing cricket, loved improving myself, loved bowling. And I think all of these kind of factors really helped me become where I was. But it does help, if my coach was a head coach who was a fast bowler or a bowling coach, maybe would I got the same opportunities or the same push then from a spinning coach? Probably not. I think, as a spinning coach, they probably want to, work with you more, don't they? And I was very lucky to have that.
Yeah, well, I've also heard that you've taught your English teammates to dance Bhangra after each win or anything. So talk about that, and also I want to rag you and make you sing a Punjabi song or a Hindi song here on this show.
Yeah, no problem. Like, yeah, I remember doing the Bhangra, which is like screw the light bulb. So screw the light bulb, and then point the aeroplane, and then pat the dog like that. Pat the dog. So that's how I taught them, and we did it once when we won a game, and they loved it. So it's just these little things that we do, rather than explaining it in technical terms in a Bhangra way. You just do it in these little simple terms, and everyone loves it. Like they loved my energy, loved my what I brought to the field, and just loved everything about it. So yeah, I obviously love my Bhangra music. I love my Bhangra dancing, and yeah, they really embraced my energy.
Yeah, I want you to sing an Hindi song or a Punjabi song. I want you to use sing
Hindi
here.
song. There's only one song I know, and it's like probably Salman Khan's song. I think Sergeant song, which is how does it go? Oh gosh, what other songs can I sing? Ooh, let me think. Let me think. Um, तुझे दिल की ही तमन्ना है प्यार का इरादा है और हम वादा है जानम तुम कभी अब मिले अभी देखे अपना that's it. Or what other ones are there? Oh gosh, Sergeant. Sergeant's the only songs I know from Salman Khan movie. I don't know why. Why Sergeant? Oh, बारिश का बहाना है थोड़ा देर लगेगी. There you go. That's it. They're the two songs.
Wow. Do you know a little bit of Punjabi?
Punjabi
Or
one I can say. Jat Valley ho gaya. That's I don't know the song. Okay, apna Punjab hove, kar di sharab hove. I don't know what the other words are. What's the other one? What are the ones? What are the ones who I know Punjabi songs? Um, oh gosh, wow, I can't even think of it. Oh gosh, there's so many songs which I can't. Yeah, Jat Valley ho gaya para ni tere karke. Mm, mm, I don't know what the other. I need the words. I don't know the words for it. What other Punjabi song do I know? I could give you a good Punjabi song. जिन्हें मेरा दिल लुटिया जिन्हें मैनू मार सुटिया जिन्हें मेरा दिल लुटिया जिन्हें मैनू मार सुटिया
wow.
That's it. There you go. That's better. I'll give you a better one there, haven't I?
Maitreya.
Yes, sir. So coming back, our next question. So you are a very successful spinner, 190 plus wickets internationally. So any advice you would give to, upcoming spinners all over the world? Anything like with the formats changing, from your era to now, it has changed. T20 cricket has evolved and the way the spinner has to think has changed. So any advice on those lines also?
Yeah, I suppose the difficulty is now a lot of spinners bowl quicker into the pitch. I think as years have gone by, spinners are bowling quicker now. And I think it's a good thing because anything you give it a bit of air, batsman hit it out the ground. So if as a spinner, if you can bowl it, what's the quickest pace you can bowl and still turn it? I think that's the skill now for a spinner. I think that's where it's changed. Before it used to be a bit more bowling it slower, deceiving it in the air. I think it's about, yeah, get a bit of flight on it, but what's the quickest pace you can bowl and get the ball to turn sharply? Which means you have to be very aggressive in your action, in your rotation of your shoulders, your hips, your fingers. They've got to rotate a lot quicker. I think that's the key. That would be my advice. Bowl it quick, but don't bowl it too quick. It doesn't turn. What's the quickest pace you can bowl to get sharp turn? I think that's the most important thing now.
Yeah, well, Maitreya is going to serious discussions. I want to get you back to a fun discussion. So, since you know a little bit Hindi at least, so I want you to speak in Hindi and tell that Chirunandan and Maitreya are my two best friends in India. I will visit them when I come to India.
हाँ, मेरे पास दो बहुत जबरदस्त दोस्त हैं. वो है मांद्रिया और मुझको दोनों का नाम पता नहीं कैसे, बहुत लंबे नाम है अभी. जी कोई निकनेम है मांद्रिया और
Chiru.
या आपका जो
Chiru.
दोस्त है. हाँ
Chiru.
टीडू, हाँ, ये दोनों बहुत शानदार अच्छे लड़के हैं। जब मैं मिलूंगा आप दोनों को, हम जाएंगे, चाय पियेंगे, कुछ खाना खाएंगे और क्रिकेट की बात करेंगे। हम ये बात करना चाहेंगे, कब, जब इंडिया, अभी रोहित शर्मा, विराट कोहली की रिटायरमेंट हो गई है, इंडिया वापस आ सकती है स्ट्रांग टीम जैसे पहले थी, ये हम डिस्कस आपके साथ करेंगे।
वाह, थैंक यू सर, धन्यवाद।
प्लेजर, प्लेजर।
मत
Yes, sir. So this is already, you briefly discussed this, but I wanted to ask you about that 2009 Cardiff test because we have already seen Monty the bowler, but this aspect of Monty the batsman was seen during that day. So an added pressure was it was the Ashes. For India it's India Pakistan. For England it's the Ashes. So it was the Ashes, and you had to save the match. You were batting there, you and Jimmy Anderson. So the whole, from your point of view as the batsman there, how was the situation? What was happening there in your mind, and how did you take it through?
I suppose, yeah, it's a great question. I think for me, when there's the expectation of not drawing a test match, you're going to lose, you just go there and you think you wait for, and you're just waiting until you get out. But in the meantime, what you're trying to do is you're trying to like just, yeah, I was very calm in my mind. My mind was very calm. I was very calm in my thinking. There was a clarity of thought, and I just stuck to that. I didn't really think about it too much, and just thought, okay, stick to my game plan, and if I stick to my game plan and I get out, that's fine. And I thought, let's just see how it goes. And gradually, I obviously um, made it till the end. Funnily enough, and I think that's the great thing about Test cricket. That's the great thing about um, when we talk about the future of the game and future of Test cricket is that people often say we need it into 4 days, but there's been some great 5 day test matches. And if we make it into 4 days, we may not get those dramatic, tense moments like we used to. So I'm a big fan of just keeping it for 5 days for these kind of moments, like the moments in Cardiff I had. So I hope, like other nations find a way, or the ICC finds a way that Test cricket can continue to thrive, and the games that they're playing, they can play more games, and it doesn't get less because they can't make as much money from Test cricket.
Yeah, this is one of the questions that our listener asked, anonymous name. So, would you rather bowl to Chris Gayle blindfolded or face a Mitchell Johnson with a table tennis bat?
It's a good question. I'll probably bowl to Chris Gayle blindfolded,
Okay,
trusting that he won't hit it back at me. I'll trust him. I'll trust Chris Gayle.
but is known for hitting straight down the ground with an
He
edge of the
does, but
bat
he'll
which
just
flies.
hit it out of the ground and not at me.
Oh, you're still safe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Maitri.
Yes, sir. So, during your early days, there must have been, some piece of advice that your coaches would have given you that stayed with you throughout your career. So, any such piece of advice that you would like to share?
Well, I suppose like work, work hard is obviously everyone says that, but I think it's a bit more deeper than that. It's more um, like cricket. Is it more physical training? Is it more mental training? And I think in your early days, we train a lot, but we don't do enough mental training. Mental training is like, um, you know, if you only have 20 balls, and in 20 balls you've got to hit a good length area, what is the percentage of that? Now that's a good mental training program where you do it every day and you increase it, but you're not training so much. These kind of things, I think, as a youngster, you should do that. Test yourself. Test yourself to exhaustion and then train. Mentally, how strong are you when you're physically exhausted? And I think that kind of stuff we should get youngsters to do more.
Yeah, this is a certain question to be asked to any cricketer. So, cricket is a sport, and as such, sport is it is uncertain. your chances of getting picked into the any team, domestic team or a national team is really hard. And then even after playing well, there are times you get dropped, even after playing well. And there are times when you go through a purple patch. There are times when you go through a drought. You don't get runs, you don't get wickets, you're dropped again. So when all of these things happen, how do you back yourself and how do you put yourself, give yourself a pat on your shoulder and say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And especially for a youngster who wants to thrive in a competitive cricket world, you know that cricket in India is very competitive as it is in England. So what would you say to them? How do they back themselves and mentally, physically, and other things?
Yeah, look, I think what it is that it's the process. It's not the importance of playing, the games. It's more trusting your process. So you get a lot of talented cricketers who go out there and just play with emotions and win a game of cricket, which is great, but they wouldn't trust the process every day, doing your processes with your cricket training, your mental training, your fitness. That's more important. So I'm a big fan of processes, preparation, and then the results do take care of themselves. But that's the area where don't neglect that area. Even if you're performing well, still do your processes, still do your preparation. That's the most important thing, in my humble opinion. And I think everything takes care of itself. But if you neglect that and you kind of rely on your sheer skill, your emotion, get in the game, and that gets you out of it, it may get you, perform really well once or twice, and you think that's great. But in the longer term, I think trust your preparation, trust your process, whatever they are, whatever bowling drills, batting drills you have, whatever, like your diet, your lifestyle, everything. Trust that, and everything will fall into place.
Yeah, and well, this will bring you to the end of today's episode. Thank you, Monty sir, for coming. Before that, I want you to talk about your nickname. So it is actually Madhusudan Singh Panesar. Your parents, or I'm not sure if your parents nicknamed you. And there was a commentator who found to tough to pronounce even Panesar that he called you Monty Python. So
Yeah,
about the
that
nick.
came from my auntie, just named me Monty. And when you go to like dressing room, when you're young, everyone asks your nickname because my name was quite long. So I just said Monty, and Monty stuck, and I didn't know it was a British name as well, being Monty. So everyone obviously uh, loved that nickname and easy to pronounce. So yeah, that's where the name came from.
Yes, sir. It was wonderful hosting you. I remember, and of course, Maitre remembers watching you on television and sharing the screen, having you on board and talking to you. This is so surreal for us. You might have so many unforgettable memories in playing cricket. For us, this is one of our unforgettable memories. Thank you for coming here. It is a wonderful show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and hopefully we'll meet in person when I'm in India.
Sure, you gave a
Sure.
promise as well in Hindi.
Okay. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You will have to